It's interesting because we're more than a month after a 15-year-old girl was found in the trunk of that Tesla.
There's been a major update in the case of David and Celeste as David just released a song. I mean, you're gonna want to hear this. Just yesterday, thousands of people got a BandLab notification that David released a new song titled Rush, but minutes later, it vanished.
You guys, new development regarding the David case. He transferred both of his Houston houses to his mother's name.
So like we've been saying, the family of Celeste knew that she wasn't technically missing because she was coming around family still. She was still apparently talking to family. Her brother knew who she was around. Her cousin, Esmeralda, seems to have known who she was around, yet nobody ever contacted authorities to let them know that Celeste wasn't a missing juvenile anymore.
David just dropped a brand new song about Celeste and then deleted it right after. What's even weirder, Celeste's family, especially her cousins, have started acting real suspicious lately. Something about this whole situation feels off. So let's break it down. Apparently, David got bored and decided to play mysterious again. He uploaded a song, teased the internet for a second, and then wiped it clean like it never existed. The track popped up on BandLab. Yeah, that's like SoundCloud, but on steroids. It's wild because he didn't even leave it up for long enough for people to enjoy it. Now, if you try to open that link, you'll just get an error or a private notice. So why post it at all?
David just released a new song and then deleted it, and he might be hiding in Australia. You heard that right. So last night, fans got a notification from BandLab that David just dropped a new song. This song was titled Rush, and in it contains some lyrics that hinted about Celeste and that she might have possibly been cheating on him. Now, this could be a potential motive, however, we don't have any other confirmation, and the song was briefly deleted right after it was uploaded. Now, before the song was pulled, fans noticed that it showed the upload location as Australia. And the way BandLab works is you can't really change that location as it's geomapped, meaning that whoever did upload that song obviously uploaded it from Australia. Now, the song obviously sounded like David. It was his voice. It was his official account. So I've said this before, I'll say it again. If it looks like a duck and it acts like a duck, then it's probably David. Now, this still is a little bit confusing because we have not heard anything new. We don't really know what is going on. The cops are kind of just not giving us any information. They say that they have footage of the last person to drive the car, and then we're not allowed to see the footage because it's an ongoing case. So everything is just very, very weird.
It really feels like David loves stirring things up. He moves like he's this dark, mysterious genius who's feeding off all the buzz around him. Every time people stop talking, he drops something cryptic to keep his name spinning online, like, bro, if you're gonna post it, at least stand on it. But nope, he had to play the disappearing act again. Now here's the juicy part. We actually have a snippet of that deleted track, and it's titled Rush. From what's been said, Rush might have been part of a deluxe album he was supposed to drop, but of course that never saw daylight either. In the lyrics, he goes, I thought we were taking it slow, but you don't wanna wait. Don't want to wait on me. I just need you to know there are so many things that I need. Sounds deep, right? But also low-key messy. It's like he's talking about a relationship falling apart. One person pushing too fast, the other not ready to move forward. And if you think about it, that lines up way too perfectly with what went down between him and Celeste.
There's been a major update in the case of David and Celeste as David just released a song. I mean, you're gonna want to hear this. Just yesterday, thousands of people got a BandLab notification that David released a new song titled Rush, but minutes later, it vanished. The song was apparently created on October 2nd, and some people think it was released on accident, and others think it was on purpose. Here are the lyrics. Thought we were taking it slow, but you don't want to wait on me. Many people were speculating that this was about Celeste wanting to talk to other guys and David being jealous, or it was about her not wanting to wait until she was of age. He then says, say you love me, then you say goodbye. Had a feeling you would leave my side. I still think about you day and night. The simple things always made me cry. Do I miss you? I can't decide. If I have issues, then I'm alright. If you love me, then please don't lie. Baby, you're supposed to be mine. If something changed, can I at least know why? Cause I don't ever want to waste your time. The chorus repeats, then he says, you get mad it didn't go your way, and you don't listen to a thing I say. The way I feel is written on my face, cause you want somebody to take my place. And if this actually is referencing Celeste, it's insane and tells us how he actually felt about their relationship.
He always claimed he wanted to take things slow, remember? That's been his defense from day one. The song almost feels like a twisted way of rewriting that story, like he's trying to justify himself through music instead of actually owning up. It's eerie how much this track mirrors what people already suspect. And here's the kicker. Some fans think this wasn't just some random emotional song. They believe it was a message, like David was trying to tell on himself without really saying it. That's probably why he deleted it so fast, and maybe it hit too close to home. Whatever the case, this move just made the internet side-eye him harder than ever. Something's definitely going on behind the scenes, and we're about to dig even deeper into it next. Now, this part of the song, it gets real cryptic. He starts off with, "Say you love me, then you say goodbye. Had a feeling you would leave my side. I still think about you day and night, the simple things that always made me cry." Like, wow, this sounds way too personal. He's clearly talking about someone who walked away, and you can feel the heartbreak in those lines.
Do I miss you? I can't decide if I have issues or I'm alright. If you love me, then please don't lie, baby. You're supposed to be mine.
Then he switches it up and asks, "Do I miss you? I can't decide. If I have issues, then I'm all right. If you love me, then please don't lie. Don't lie, baby. You're supposed to be mine. If something changed, at least can I know why?" That's straight up begging for closure. But here's where it gets even more telling. 'Cause I don't ever want to waste your time. He repeats that line over and over again, like he's trying to convince himself that he's not the bad guy. It's giving guilt, it's giving regret, and it's definitely giving "this is about Celeste" vibes.
Things that I need, so many things, so many things that I need.
It sounds like someone told him he was wasting their time, and instead of accepting that, he's clinging to it, turning the blame around through his lyrics. Then he drops, "You get mad, it didn't go your way, and you don't listen to a thing I say. The way I feel is written on my face. 'Cause you want somebody to take my place? You did? To take my place. You did that repetition right there, you did. Hits heavy." Like he's spiraling, replaying that betrayal in his head. He even brings back the chorus, "Thought we were taking it slow," and ends the track chanting, "So many things that I need." And that last line, it's wild because nobody knows what those things are. What does David need so bad? Is it control, attention, forgiveness? It's like he's setting his own twisted rules for what love is supposed to be with him, and that's what makes people uncomfortable. The internet, of course, went crazy. One person commented, "Bro thinks he's mysterious. What a loser." Another said, "He really thinks he's about to get away with this." Someone else added, "I feel like he is. I mean, what's the holdup?" And then another user came in hot saying, "It takes time to build a case against someone. Wow, but how much time? Like years. Is it going to be 2026? And honestly, that comment hit a nerve. Because people are losing patience. They're tired of seeing him post sad boy tracks and cryptic messages while the investigation around Celeste is still floating in limbo. One user even said making more sad boy songs while facing serious accusations shouldn't be allowed. These platforms need to stop giving manipulative people like him a stage. Fans aren't just angry anymore, they're frustrated. Every time David drops a song, it feels like he's mocking the situation, like he's trying to rewrite what happened through his music.
Breaking news, they have now revealed that there were several disturbing items found inside of the Hollywood Hills home David was renting, as well as surveillance footage. All of this information comes from the private investigator that was hired by the owner of the Hollywood Hills home David was renting. The private investigator said that they found, quote, disturbing evidence at the Hollywood Hills home during their investigation. He did make it clear, however, the items found were not against the law to possess. However, they would not be something that you would normally find in a residential environment. He described the items as something that could be used to potentially harm someone. He went on to state that he would categorize them as going beyond a, quote, typical tool, and that they were, quote, sadistic.
Everyone is starting to be left speechless after it's being reported that David is not a suspect for the passing of Celeste Riva.
It's dark, it's uncomfortable, and it's starting to look like he's using art as a cover-up. And the internet's not buying it anymore. Some people, especially the sad, emotional crowd, keep falling for his cringe beats and moody lyrics. It's like he knows exactly how to manipulate listeners who relate to heartbreak, and he milks that for sympathy every single time. Someone even pointed out that this song, Rush, had to be recorded before Celeste passed, because he's still singing like she broke his heart. He keeps painting her like the villain, twisting every track to make it seem like she did him wrong, especially those parts where he talks about being replaced. Like, bro, let it go. People online are starting to pick up on it too. One person said, "Anyone else get the feeling he's using this music to cope with what happened? Like he'd rather believe she broke his heart than accept that she's gone?" And honestly, that makes sense. It's almost like he's rewriting their story to protect his ego. Because if he admits the truth, whatever it may be, then he has to face what actually happened. Instead, he clings to this fantasy version of Celeste, like he's still trying to control her image even after everything that's gone down. And that's exactly why he keeps mimicking her in his artwork. Fans have noticed that some of his visuals, his album covers, even his music videos carry eerie references that remind people of her. It's unsettling, almost like he's trying to bring her back through his art. Somebody even asked online, has he ever written a song that wasn't about her or blaming her? And honestly, it doesn't seem like it. Let's not forget, his Withered Deluxe album was scrapped right after the investigation drama exploded. That title alone, Withered, raised eyebrows everywhere. Because come on, withered means something that's dried up, lifeless, decaying, and paired with that eerie cover art, it felt way too close to real-life tragedy. Some fans even noticed he'd been using the word marcescence, which is literally about a plant holding on to dead leaves, like a metaphor for not letting go of something that's already gone. That's just chilling when you think about the timing. It's almost like Celeste became his withered part, the thing he couldn't move on from. And people can't ignore how that connects to the darker accusations floating around. Even though there's still no closure, fans can't stop asking the same question. What are the police actually doing?
It's interesting because we're more than a month after a 15-year-old girl was found dead in the trunk of that Tesla.
You know, I'm not surprised, but I think that the general public is probably like, what is going on here? Why aren't you moving forward? And to them, I would just say that it takes a lot to be able to get proof beyond a reasonable doubt for a conviction. And a district attorney's office is going to wait until police officers, detectives have conducted a full and final investigation so that they've collected enough evidence so that they have a rock hard, solid case. So I'm not necessarily surprised that they're not ready to, go forward, indict, prosecute. I think they really, especially on a media focused type of case, they really want to make sure that all the ducks are in a row and they have enough proof.
Because Celeste wasn't some random stranger in his life. She was constantly seen with him in public. There are multiple videos and sightings showing them hanging out together, eating out, even staying at his places. People mentioned specific outings, like when they were spotted at Bossa Nova Brazilian cuisine, just acting normal, like everything was fine. It's disturbing in hindsight because everyone now realizes how young she really was at the time. Many online have said it's heartbreaking and infuriating that those moments seemed so casual back then, yet now they're part of a much darker story. The fact that he's still out here making music, playing mysterious, and building his sad boy brand while all this lingers unresolved, it's got the internet beyond fed up. Fans are demanding real accountability, because at this point, these songs don't sound like art anymore. They sound like confessions wrapped in melodies. And when I say there's a lot to unpack here, I mean a lot. Yeah, there's that massive Hollywood Hills house, but that's not the only place involved. We're rewinding the timeline because remember, our investigator friend Steve believes Celeste might have actually passed away way earlier, possibly back in January. So when you start tracking David's movements, you realize he's been hopping between several properties during that whole period, which makes everything even more confusing. Now, for those who don't know, Steve was the private investigator hired by the homeowner of that fancy Hills mansion to find out if Celeste was ever actually alive and staying there. And he recently dropped something very interesting about her family that raised a lot of eyebrows. According to Steve, the first time Celeste was reported missing was February 14th, 2024. The exact same day Josh Marshall took over the lease for that rental property. That's not just a coincidence. That's suspicious. Then she was reported missing again on April 5th, 2024. But here's the weird thing. Was she even truly missing? Because on May 30th, 2024, she showed up at her cousin Esmeralda's high school graduation. Yup, she was literally there, smiling, taking pictures, acting normal. There are photos of her at that event that prove she was alive and around people.
And on May 30th, 2024, again, while Celeste is still considered a missing juvenile, she attends her cousin Esmeralda's high school graduation. I don't know, it seems like Celeste and Esmeralda were pretty close to one another, and Esmeralda was also the one who created the GoFundMe page for Celeste's funeral expenses.
But then, just a few months later in September, she was caught on camera again, this time in a wild video fighting with neighbors at the Lake Eleanor house.
Right there, I'll tell you where that. See that door right there? Number 2, not that. Yeah. Ain't nobody black right here. What are you talking about? I said we're not black over here. Why are you calling us?
So how could she be missing if she's literally showing up at public events and being seen on video multiple times? That's what's making everyone question how much her family actually knew. Steve's been hinting that maybe her family knew where she was the whole time, but pretended she was missing for other reasons. And honestly, that theory makes sense when you look at how it all lines up. Think about it. If Celeste's family officially labeled her as a missing person, they could dodge legal trouble. Because technically, if she was still a minor and not enrolled in school, that's a huge red flag that could trigger CPS involvement. So by keeping her marked as missing, they could avoid being held responsible while she was living with David. It's like everyone silently agreed to look the other way. Steve even questioned, why didn't any of her family members ever notify law enforcement that she was safe? And that's the real question right there. Maybe they didn't want the cops digging too deep, because if they admitted she was staying with David, that would have opened up a whole can of legal issues, especially since she was underage at the time. Reporting her as missing might have been their way to protect themselves instead of protecting her. What's even crazier is that there's actual proof of all these moments, photos, videos, dates, and yet no one seemed to step in to stop it. How could so many people know, but nobody do anything? Steve's been pushing this theory hard, and honestly, it's one of the only explanations that makes sense for how Celeste could be both missing and still popping up in public all over the place. If what Steve's suggesting turns out to be true, then this isn't just about David anymore. It's about the people who stood by and let this whole thing happen. Because the timeline doesn't lie, and the silence from the family is getting louder than ever. Something about this whole situation feels rotten, and it's only a matter of time before everything comes out. Someone close to the Lake Eleanor situation came forward and said something shocking. They claimed that after the last report, certain family members actually told the neighbors not to search for Celeste because, according to them, she was staying with family near Los Angeles. Like, what?
We have of Celeste is January 2nd, 2025.
Okay, now that's significant because we were wondering when, she was last seen alive. There was that surveillance footage of her seemingly running away from her neighborhood.
And that was September of 24, I believe. So
yeah.
We didn't have anything. We were like, where was this girl in 2025? But we do have a photo of her on July 2nd, early in the morning, July 2nd, 2025. I tend to believe it happened a while ago, a long time ago. And I think January, February, things changed. I mean, you can see it in.
That's a huge red flag. Because if that was true, why label her as missing in the first place? It's starting to sound like the people who were supposed to protect her may have been covering up the truth. Now, we know Celeste's mom was aware that her boyfriend was David. That's already been established. But the big question is, did anyone in her family actually live near LA? Because that excuse about her staying with relatives feels like a cover story. It's seriously disturbing to think that the adults in her life might have known she was with him and still chose to let it happen. If that's true, then a lot of that responsibility falls directly on her parents. Why would they knowingly allow their young daughter to move to Los Angeles and live with a grown man? That's not just reckless, that's heartbreaking. Steve, the investigator, didn't hold back either. He straight up asked, "Did you attend an event with David and Celeste on April 21st, 2024? And he didn't stop there. He added, "I'm also curious why Celeste was attending your graduation while being listed as a runaway and not even enrolled in school." Boom. That's a major bombshell. Because what Steve basically revealed is that Celeste's cousin Esmeralda might have been right there at an event with both David and Celeste. That means she knew about their relationship firsthand and didn't speak up. So Steve's question hit hard. How much did the family really know? Were they just ignoring the obvious?
The family members, certain ones, started instructing neighbors not to search for Celeste because she was, quote, staying with a family member near LA. Now, we still don't know who Celeste was staying with when she was not with David. In one of the recent PI's interviews, he stated that he believes that Celeste was staying at an apartment with someone else. So could her family have been telling the truth? Maybe Celeste was actually staying in the LA area with a family member, maybe her cousin. I will say that it's interesting looking at Esmeralda, the cousin's information, because it seems like she moved across the country to attend college for the 2024-2025 school year. So if Celeste was maybe staying with Esmeralda somewhere in LA and Esmeralda ends up going to school across the country, comes back around the holidays in 2024, but then goes back to school in January of 2025, that is around the same time period that Celeste was last seen. I'm not saying that Esmeralda had any knowledge or anything to do with Celeste's death, but I'm just saying that this would have given whoever was around Celeste at this time opportunity to be around her alone, and it also would indicate why maybe the person that is typically around her, living with her.
One person online tried to defend Esmeralda, saying, "She's still a kid, 18 years old, leave her alone." But then Steve clapped back with receipts, pointing out that there's a GoFundMe set up under Esmeralda's name with over $24,000 raised. That means she's not just some random bystander. She's now directly tied to this situation financially, and that opened a whole new wave of questions. Because if you're the one running the GoFundMe, collecting donations in your name, then of course people are going to expect answers. Steve even said it himself. You've made yourself the point person for this. And he's right. That kind of money puts you in the middle of everything, especially when it's supposed to be used for justice or awareness around Celeste's case. People in the comments were torn. One person said, "I think the family did know, but they felt helpless, like they couldn't stop it." Maybe they thought letting her visit them sometimes was better than losing contact with her completely. And honestly, that's a tragic thought. Because yeah, maybe they were scared, maybe they didn't know what to do, but that still doesn't excuse letting her live with an older man while she was barely a teenager. It's like everyone around her chose silence over confrontation, and that silence cost everything. What's even sadder is imagining Celeste at 13 or 14 years old, thinking she was living her dream life with a pop star in Los Angeles, while the adults around her turned a blind eye. She probably thought it was love, while they all looked the other way because it was easier than stepping in. At this point, people are demanding accountability, not just from David, but from the entire circle that let this go on unchecked. The neighbors, the family, the people running the fundraisers, they all have pieces of the puzzle because there's no way a girl that young could disappear in plain sight, be seen at public events, and have everyone act like nothing was wrong. The lies are starting to unravel, and it's clear. Too many people knew too much and said way too little. If you think about it from Celeste's point of view, it probably all looked so exciting. The big city, the music, the fame. To a young girl, that lifestyle must have felt like a dream come true. But that's exactly where discipline and protection should have come in. Because seriously, if I had told my parents I was packing up at 13 or 14 to go live with some pop star in LA, they would have shut that down immediately. No questions asked? That's where the adults were supposed to step in, and they didn't. One person online summed it up perfectly, saying, "The most obvious answer is that the family filed those missing person reports so the school and truancy officers wouldn't come looking for her after she stopped attending for months. And that honestly makes total sense. It lines up too neatly with the timeline. Instead of facing questions from the system, they may have just labeled her missing to dodge accountability." Then another cousin entered the picture, Shelly, and things got even messier. Now, this part isn't officially verified, But according to what's been floating around, Shelley claimed the family stayed quiet about David because they were scared that Celeste would run away for good if they told anyone. Apparently, Celeste had first lied about her age to David, but later came clean and told him she was only 13 or 14. And instead of backing off, he allegedly got even more interested. That's beyond disturbing. Shelley also said she personally met David, and that when she told him Celeste's real age, he didn't act shocked or uncomfortable. He supposedly smiled. That tells you everything you need to know about his mindset. It's disgusting, and it's heartbreaking that people saw red flags like that and still didn't step in. And since we're talking about Celeste's cousins, we've got to bring up Wendy too, because she might have known something way earlier than anyone realized. Wendy Rodriguez, another one of Celeste's cousins, posted a message on social media back in February 2024, months before things went public. Her post said, "Be careful who you talk to on the internet, guys. Don't make the same mistakes my cousin made. You don't know who's on the other side of the screen." That right there hit hard, because this was before anyone even knew there was something wrong. It's chilling to think Wendy might have seen signs of danger, but couldn't stop what was coming. And then there was another post she made where she shared an article titled, "Stalker Tries to Steal Our Little Sister." That title alone says everything. Wendy clearly had some kind of insight into what was happening. Maybe she didn't know the full extent, but she definitely sensed that something dark was going on. She even shared personal posts connecting herself directly to Celeste, showing that they were close. So it's hard not to wonder, how much did she actually know about Celeste's situation with David as early as February? All these family members, Esmeralda, Shelley, Wendy, they all seem to have known pieces of the truth. Each one of them posted something, hinted at something, or interacted with Celeste during those crucial months, and yet somehow no one managed to stop it before it got out of control. Now that all these posts and messages are resurfacing, people are starting to connect the dots. And the picture they're painting isn't pretty. It's giving the impression that too many people saw warning signs and either froze, stayed silent, or looked away. And that silence, that's what's haunting everyone now. Because if Wendy already knew something was off in February, imagine how much more could have been prevented if someone had spoken up back then. I actually came across this heartbreaking video on Wendy's page, and man, it hit hard. It's a short clip where you can clearly see Celeste looking so young and innocent, and it just makes your stomach turn knowing what she ended up going through. Watching it now feels haunting. That little girl had no idea the nightmare she was walking into. It's honestly sickening to think about how badly she was failed by everyone around her. Back in September, Wendy seemed to realize immediately that the girl in that video was Celeste, because she posted right after saying, "You won't silence us any longer." That one sentence spoke volumes. It's like she had finally reached a breaking point, ready to expose everything that had been swept under the rug. And listen, and if any of Celeste's family members, or even Steve the investigator himself, ever wanted to come forward and talk, I'd absolutely open the door for that conversation. They deserve to be heard. I'd love to sit down and hear their side, their truth, their version of what really went down, because there's still way too many unanswered questions here. Now, speaking of Steve, he's been very active online lately, especially on Twitter, and he even got into a heated back and forth with TMZ. I won't dive too deep into that drama, but what's important is that he recently shared something major: body cam footage from when police visited David's home back in late July. Yeah, that's right. The police had already been there before everything went completely off the rails. To refresh your memory, the Tesla was found abandoned on July 29th, but this footage was from July 20th, when officers responded to a disturbance call at David's place. In the video, Steve said that the girls outside were the reason why the cops were called in the first place. And that instantly raised eyebrows. Like, what exactly was going on there? Why were there multiple girls at his house? And more importantly, what were they doing there? The body cam snippet didn't show the full picture, but it hinted at chaos. people yelling, the police trying to figure things out, and David acting way too calm considering the situation. Steve posting that clip has everyone wondering the same thing. How is this man still walking free? Like, seriously, how much more evidence does it take before something happens? It's hard not to think there's more going on behind the scenes. Maybe something even bigger than we realize. Could investigators be looking into Celeste's family too? Are they checking if someone helped cover things up? It sounds wild, but at this point, nothing seems impossible. Because look, if the family truly knew where Celeste was and did nothing, that could open the door for serious legal trouble, even if their intentions were to protect her. And yet, as of right now, it doesn't look like law enforcement has moved on anyone. Not David, not the family. And that's what's driving everyone crazy online. People are saying it loud. Why hasn't David been arrested yet? This isn't just speculation anymore. There are videos, timelines, body cam clips, witness statements. It's all out there. The fact that no action's been taken is beyond frustrating. It's like everyone's waiting for something, some final piece of proof, before making a move. At this point, it's bigger than gossip or rumor. It's about justice for a girl who clearly didn't get any. And the longer this drags on, the more people start wondering if someone powerful is keeping it quiet. One thing's for sure, the truth is coming, and when it does, it's gonna shake everything. At this point, it's looking like investigators are gearing up for something big. People are saying they might actually be preparing to go for a homicide charge. That's how serious this has gotten. But here's the part that's got everyone completely baffled. David hasn't been seen at all in October. Like, where is he? One person online claimed he's hiding out in Houston, Texas, supposedly staying with family there. But if that's true, it raises a massive question. Why would LAPD even allow him to leave California when the alleged crime happened there? That makes no sense. Normally, if someone's being looked at in a case this heavy, they're not just casually hopping states like nothing's wrong. Another person said, "What's he even doing all day?" And honestly, the answers are wild. Apparently, he's been spending a ton of time on Fortnite. Like, really? Gaming while the entire internet's dissecting your every move? And when he's not gaming, people are saying he's glued to social media, scrolling through Reddit threads, Discord servers, and Instagram stories all about him. Imagine living like that. Your name everywhere, every comment dissecting your past, every rumor haunting you in real time. Someone said it perfectly. It's gotta be a living nightmare for him. And you know what? It probably is. And honestly, that's the bare minimum he deserves. Because whatever version of events he's telling himself, whatever excuses he's trying to believe, he put that young girl in that situation. Nobody forced his hand, nobody made those choices for him. That was all on him. So yeah, if he's sitting somewhere right now, trapped in his own guilt, surrounded by his screens, unable to escape the noise, that's justice slowly catching up. Because no matter how far he runs, the truth doesn't fade. It lingers, it echoes, and it's coming for him. One post, one headline, one piece of evidence at a time. And trust me, when this story finally explodes, the whole world's gonna see who David really is. So if he thinks hiding out or pretending to move on will make people forget, he's dead wrong. His so-called mystery days are over, and this time, there's no deleting his way out of it. So now we're all sitting here asking the same question. Is an arrest finally coming? Because honestly, with everything that's been piling up, it's hard to imagine this case staying quiet for much longer. The timelines, the footage, the family connections, it's all out there, and it's only getting messier by the day. At this point, people are demanding answers, not just whispers online. I mean, how long can investigators keep circling before they finally move in? Fans are convinced something big is brewing behind the scenes. Some are saying David's days of hiding are numbered, while others think there's way more to this than anyone's admitting. It's getting intense out here, and every new piece of information just makes the situation more chilling. But I really want to know what you think. Do you believe an arrest is right around the corner, or do you think he's gonna keep slipping through the cracks for a while longer? Drop your thoughts down in the comments, because this case has officially crossed into crazy territory. And honestly, it's wild to think how deep this has gotten. From mysterious songs and deleted posts to family secrets and missing timelines, this story has turned into something straight out of a movie. It's tragic, disturbing, and still somehow unfolding in real time. Everyone's watching, waiting, refreshing their feeds for the next update. Because one thing's for sure, this isn't over yet. So yeah, let me know below what you think about all of this. Do you believe justice is finally on the way, or do you think there's another twist coming? Either way, I'm keeping my eyes locked on this one. And you should too. If you made it this far, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe so you don't miss the next deep dive. We've got more wild celebrity drama and real-life mysteries coming your way. And trust me, you don't want to miss what's next. So hit that bell, check out the next video you'll see popping up on your screen, and get ready. Because the truth about David and Celeste's story is only getting darker from here. I'll see you in the next one.